So these days, you may have heard that a lot of people are talking about the fact that the religious intolerance in India has gone on to get increased in the recent past. But before understanding whether this phenomena has gone on to get increased or not, these people actually who are talking about religious tolerance, because they think that there must be religious tolerance in the society, they themselves don't know exactly whether the religious tolerance is also a positive concept or not. Otherwise, they would not have talked about even religious tolerance at all. They may have talked about concept like Sarvdharm Sambhav or other concept instead of talking about the religious tolerance. So we will first understand the what exactly is meaning of religious tolerance. Uh, uh, Tolerance itself means that you don't like somebody, then only you tolerate. So the tolerance is not a positive concept in the sense that whenever you tolerate something, you don't actually like it, but you don't try to destroy it. So religious tolerance uh, is if you compare the religious tolerance with the intolerance, that means in intolerance, whenever you have intolerance, then you try to destroy whom you don't like. But in case of tolerance, you, despite the fact that you don't like something, but you don't try to destroy it. So this is a relationship between the tolerance and intolerance. Then you have to also understand the uh, difference between the neutrality and tolerance, because whenever you are neutral towards anything, then neither you tolerate it nor you intolerate it, you just remain neutral. So that is how the tolerance is different from the concept like neutrality also. The tolerance is also different from the positive concept like love, friendship, brotherhood, because whenever you love somebody, whenever you have a feeling of brotherhood towards somebody, then you need not to tolerate, because in this case tolerance doesn't have any role to play, because you love somebody, that's why you don't have to tolerate, you enjoy his company, so that's why this tolerance is different from the positive concept like love and fraternity. Tolerance is different from the negative feelings as well, like, for example, jealous, violence, revenge, in which we try to destroy somebody whom we don't actually like. So that is why it is different from the negative concept also. Then intolerance, after having understood the tolerance, you must have got the idea about what exactly is intolerance, because whenever you have an intolerance, you don't you try to destroy whom you don't like. So that's why religious intolerance means that the person belonging to particular religion uh, don't actually tolerate the other people belonging to the other religions. So that's why we call it as a religious intolerance. From the moral perspective, the tolerance is bad, but we can say that this is a first steps toward the Sadham Sambhav. That was the reason why the Gandhiji always favored the Sardham Sambhav because Sardham Sambhav talks about having, the respect for the pupil following other different religion than your own religion. So when you have a equal, respect to all the religion, then it will lead to the some kind of sarndham sadbhav. So you don't have to tolerate somebody because you have a equal respect for the people following a different religion. In such kind of situation, the tolerance will not be required at all. So that is how you can say that the Sandharm Sadbhav is a more positive compared to the religious tolerance. And the other actually the solution for this religious intolerance is a secularism. But people have a different perspective about the secularism as well, because generally people think in our country, people think that whatever has been given in the constitution is a secularism, because our constitution says that the state will not differentiate among the between the citizens living in our country on the basis of their religion. So the state will neither favor any religion nor it will discriminate against any religion. In the eyes of the state, all the religion has a equal status. But this is not the secularism. Secularism is much more broader concept than what generally people think, because secularism is about the behavior of the people. If regardless of how equal respect that you may be having towards other religion also, but if you yourself is following your religion, then you cannot be considered as a secular, because secularism is some kind of attitude. If you believe in other worldly things, then you cannot be considered as a secular. For example, if you think that if I pray to the God, then I will get selected in the examination, then you cannot be considered, your attitude cannot be considered as a secular, because secular person has a very scientific type of attitude. He will not believe in otherworldly things. So that is why if more and more secular attitude actually people will have in the future, then this religious conflict may also disappear. So this is one solution of the religious conflict that we have. The other solution can also be humanism, because humanism is also give the more importance to the human being, because this concept of human being basically evolved against the religious belief that were that were actually pertaining in a dark era, when the priest used to say that the destiny of a human being is written by the God. So that's why this humanism came against this kind of belief, saying that the human himself is a master of his own destiny. So that's why humanism gives more important role to the human being instead of God. So that is how actually humanism is also believe in a scientific temper. So if this kind of concept is spread more among the people, then this can also lead to the disappearance of the religious conflict that we generally observe.